Hello, a couple of days ago I promised you a video about Panama and the future of this country. Due to the comments of the American candidates or president-to-be about Panama, Canada, Greenland, and some other countries. So let's have a look at the transits that are affecting Panama right now, and well, let's analyze it and let's see what does it have to do with the reality that we are facing today. 1 second, I'll just become small so you'll be able to see the horoscope without any problems. And yeah, the horoscope of Panama is interesting from a very simple reason that the inauguration happens in the very same moment when the Sun and Pluto are going to, the transiting Sun and Pluto is going to affect Panama's Saturn. In the same time, Mars being opposing these two planets indicates that Panama can expect loads of pressure from the new administration of Mr. Trump and his friends. And that's not everything. In the same time, Neptune is actually making a square to both of these planets, well, very loose to Uranus and quite significant to Mars. And this is affecting the offspring of Panama. This section is number 5, house of the offspring, let's say. So children, if we're talking about families or when we are talking about countries, probably money. So that gives uncertainty to the people of Panama right now, but it is going to get even more interesting later, this and the next year. So Pluto is going to conjunct Panama's Saturn quite soon, and Saturn is responsible for structure and bones in human body. So this is the core structure of Panama that is going to experience extreme pressure from the American government and probably other governments that are very interested in going through Panama, because as you understand, it cuts time really significant. That's really significant cutting time. If you were to go around South America, it would take probably a month longer to deliver the goods that you want to deliver. So in the same time, Pluto, so the god of the underworld, is going to pressure with a square Ceres and Mercury of Panama that are in the third house in communication. So this is the pressures that we can expect. That's going to be the middle of March, and what is going to happen then is this conjunction of Neptune, Venus, Mercury, and then Saturn is going to create a quincunx. So this is not a harmonious aspect that's going to affect again the communication abilities of Panama as country, and this is going to happen this year. Apart from that, till the end of the year, I don't really see too much of an action apart from Jupiter passing through Panama's Pluto, but that would in this I don't see anything wrong with that, going wrong with that. But the next year it's going to be very interesting when Pluto will be passing again through Panama's Saturn. We will have a conjunction in a row. First, these 4 planets, so Sun, Mars, Venus, and Mercury, are going to conjunct Chiron of Panama in the 6th house. So that's the house of the job that we do for others, our servitude, and our health. So this point is going to be affected, the wounded healer in the 6th house of Panama horoscope. In the same time, when Pluto, the pressure from the underworld, probably from the United States and maybe China, because they are probably the second biggest customer of Panama Channel, if not the first already, is going to happen in the same time. And then the pressure from Pluto is going to be excited again by Venus, Sun, Mercury, and Mars. So if you are looking for some sort of an action in Panama, I would say that that would be January 2026, when these planets are going to pass while Pluto is passing through Panama's Saturn. And in the same time, transiting Saturn is going to square Mars in the 5th house, so that would be the offspring. If we're talking about country, that would be the fruits, the products. So in Panama's case, that would be the ability to pass, to give as much, to transport as much ships as possible through Panama Channel, from the very simple reason to earn money on it, because that's probably 90% of the income of this country. And then we are going to have the big conjunction of Neptune and Saturn in Aries. So this is going to be the reality check, the dissolving of the borders, and that's going to affect the whole world. The thing is that not only Panama is going to be affected by this big conjunction that's going to happen in a couple of months in 2025, and then it's going to happen again in 2026. So you have to be aware that that Panama is not the only country that is going to get affected, but by the things to come soon. And Neptune and Saturn, they tend to, if they work together, Saturn is the bone structure, the law, the time, and the Neptune is disillusion, drugs, visions, dreams. So as the Sandman from the telly show Sandman, if you watched it. So when they conjunct together, they will work together, so borders will be dissolved. What's gonna happen with Canada? I don't know. I haven't looked at Canada's horoscope yet. I will in one of the future videos, but right now I'm going to look at the horoscope of United States. I mean, in one of my next videos, because this is where the action is going to take place in the next couple of years. But in general, we can expect some sort of border dissolution all over the world. And then again, we can expect imaginative borders being set in place in the same time. So maybe in future, United States will dissolve the borders between United States and Panama. Maybe Panama will become a part of US in a way, or maybe they will be forced to join into union with states. I don't know. Maybe states will dissolve. But Panama is going to experience immense amount of pressure. The question is the outcome of the events gonna be bad for Panama? I think that they have already learned the lesson about the number of invasions that they experienced, that they are extremely important place on the map, especially for Americans. So I think that they did learn the lesson, and they will try to resolve all of the problems with states on paper instead using weapons. So overall, Panama might be very successful while doing business, even though, let's say, 90% being in control of the Americans. The other borders in the world, like the last time when Saturn and Neptune met, that was in 89, 90s and 91, I think, this period of time more or less. So we had a fall of the Berlin Wall and the fall of communism all over the world. This time, the similar thing can happen, but imagine that maybe the United States, for example, and the West in general, started to understand that the Chinese model of productivity and ruling of the country is much more suitable for these times. And because of that, maybe some sort of a new variation of ultra-capitalism in the Western countries, especially in states, will be established, as well as the borders are going to be dissolved. And then, again, on the other hand, it is possible that some sort of borders and barriers will be set up that are not clearly visible and are difficult to understand. But we are going to cover Saturn-Neptune conjunction in a number of future videos that I'm going to record for you. But for the time being, The message about the Panama is as simple as that. Panama, you are probably going, according to astrology, of course, not myself, are going to experience lots of pressure from the new administration of Mr. Trump. If you play it well, you'll probably be in the exactly same spot on the map. You will be still sort of independent, richer probably, because there's going to be lots of traffic going through your channel anyways. But the question is, how is the American pressure going to be resolved? So I do believe that this time it might be in favor of Panama if they play the card right. But we'll see what and how happens in future. I would say that the most exciting time for Panama may come around January 2026. We'll see how it plays, and that's it for today. We'll talk about different countries and different politicians and important people from all over the world soon. So that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.